Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Hey, Shark, what's going on? Well, here we go again. Um, so the lesson of today, folks, is this market is not a stable market. Oh, sorry, where are my manners? Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the tradingsyndicate.org and our trading room. I'm JJ, and I am the ringmaster in this three-ring circus that we call the U.S. capital markets. How's everyone doing? Well, yesterday we saw evidence that everything's just kind of wonky. We had some, I don't know if it was real news, fake news that came out. Apparently, some congresswoman said that they were going to try and fire the chairman of the Federal Reserve. The markets just took a hammering. Now, the only useful thing it did, yesterday I was, yesterday and the day before, I kept talking about when we correct inventory down, there's a poor low at 62.46. And I said before I left you folks and went on my walk, I said, I wonder what's underneath 62.46. It'd be kind of interesting to know. It's called a TPO chart. And NinjaTrader does have a version of it. They have an add-on pack called Rancho Cucamonga or something like that you can get TPO charts. So you can take a look at this. This is just a daily chart showing TPO. It doesn't have the letters on it. You can switch to letters, but I just wanted to show you the value areas where the cost basis are. But getting back to what I was saying, I wanted to know what was under 62.46. We did a quick look below and fail of it. We were unable to take out 62.40. So now we know that the shorts that were bid here on the on that particular date on the 7th, they're still bid there. So once you know where a market is bid, you can work off of it by going long off of that bid. And if we come down to that bid, that's where you cover your short. Okay, that's how the world works. If those buy orders are still there, it's a good thing. Mark that level as one of your big downside levels. Okay. Now we had fake news. Then they said the news was fake. And what that did was it did two things. Anybody who was long over 62.46 and was using that as a stop, anyone who was trading down there, they got stopped out. As soon as we started taking out the 62.60s, a lot of this inventory came out, was absorbed, and then bought back again. So number one, what you do is you shake out all the loose hands. Number two, when you do a dip like that, is you create more shorts. Because now the people who followed price down, thinking that this was going to happen, they're trapped underneath yesterday's low. Right? They're trapped down there. Um, and, sorry, I've got this in the wrong place. Right? They're trapped under the low of 2 days ago. They're trapped under 70. They're trapped under 80. The market is bid just under 28, 62, 89 and three quarters. So you can tell the shorts are trapped right here and right here, right? These are responsive levels that you'd look at for buying when the market gets down, right? Yeah, I don't know if that was. I heard that it was some lady congressman who actually flipped the news out, but then it was retracted. I don't know if it was actually written or what the whole thing is. It's really irresponsible, though. That's not how you know, they've got to muzzle these politicians because it's just it just shows very very unstable capital markets, and that's not what the world is looking for this market to be the leader, and if it trades like a junky penny stock, yeah, it's not a good thing. It's just not a good thing. So let's see what's going to happen now if we can get this thing any lower. Because now what I said also, hey, Triple Wood, all right, welcome you guys. I said also, if we accept over 6306, okay, and then if we get up over 6319, please be careful if you are a position short, because we only have this inventory, and this was a holiday, and this was 1 day. And this is not very much at all from a couple of days ago. So you only have this as overhanging supply. If the market accepts over 63.20, just be careful shorting it going into a Friday and a weekend, okay? Just something to be aware of. It's okay to take hit and run shorts, right? Our overnight inventory is long. Over 70% of the inventory is above yesterday's close. It was short, it corrected up, and now it is long, right? So if we are taking shorts off the open, right, what you'll want to do is we're going to be opening on a gap. So there's going to be short positions from yesterday's high all the way up. Those short positions equal buy orders, okay? This is mechanically what's going on. There are buy orders here. That's why that period didn't get any lower than 13 or 14. We'll go take a look at it, right? So, if there are buy orders here and you're shorting, you have to understand that there's going to be competition with you to buy back what you have sold, because there'll be other people who are short here as well who are trying to buy it back, right? Let's see what happens. We're opening up on another gap if we open outside of yesterday's high, which is 63.08 and three quarters. Hey Dan, how you doing? Notice that when this period opened 10 minutes ago, the low of it went right to that area where there were stops that it took out, right? You will find on a retrace, markets generally go back to where they blew out a stop, and you'll see a little bit of support. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves is, if this market opens up here, right? Can we spend enough time up here to take this 6307 product, sell it here, or are we going to have to put it on sale and come back and try and close that gap? Was it yesterday that we had a gap and we closed it, or was it the day before? I think it was the day before, right? We'll see. I don't know if this gap is going to close. or not. So be careful, right? If you are shorting, make sure that you identify a seller. Don't short anything until you found a seller. The only reason to short something is if you've identified that sellers are lowering price because they have to. You got to remember, if you had 1,000 pieces of something for sale, whether it's ES contracts or whatever you're selling, you've got 1,000,000 shares of stock. Why would you lower price? If people are willing to pay $5, why would you sell it at 3.80? You wouldn't. So remember that, right? The only reason that a short sale works is because sellers are competing. So you will see that sellers start competing here. They'll start lowering price. The offer will start moving lower. That's why you get that trend line down, right? That's how you can short something using your trend line. You know that they're moving the offer lower. As soon as it breaks trend, it means the offer has lifted because the market has seen buyers. So you govern yourselves accordingly. Hope that makes sense. Sorry, I had a lot of coffee. So, folks in the room, at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, I will be doing a webinar. It'll be a 101, and also we'll be discussing support and resistance and the mechanics behind it, so you guys can trade with just a little bit more knowledge. Okay? I should actually write that down in the room, shouldn't I? I wrote it earlier. Of course. Everything we do is recorded. It's like we work for the CIA. No, just kidding. So just does cost basis mechanics of liquidation or accumulation ruled gold markets? Sure it does. It once ruled the silver market too. You ever heard of, was it Silver Tuesday? When the Hunt brothers tried to corner the silver market? In I don't know, was it 70 something or 80 something? I can't remember. It was before I started. But one of the coolest phone calls I ever had, before he passed away, one of my clients put me on the phone with one of the Hunt brothers. It was pretty cool. Because all he said to me was, I hear you like doing short squeezes, kid. He was like, keep up the good work. And that was it. It was like a 10-second phone call, but that was really cool. Right. Yeah, well, I don't think it's the same kind of silver squeeze. These guys were buying physical silver, putting it on private jets, Raj, and flying it to Switzerland. It was a little bit, that was kind of an extreme short squeeze. Yeah. So, if you're short, my friends, exactly, like Lear's short from 15 and a half, right? That trend line's going down, you can stay short. Now, where are we going to cover? Well, the gap fill is at 9, just at 9 here, 8 3/4, 9. Expect some buying as we come into this area here. I would have some bids here to see if I could get hit if I was short. Beautiful short, Lear. Beautiful. Yeah, I think they're both gone now. I mean, they were quite old. Oh, so we're going to drift down now into that previous day high. We might even fill this gap before the market starts. You know, we just ran out of buyers at 16. We ran out of buyers at 15, and we had to put it on sale rather aggressively, right? And that's exactly what you want when you're a short seller, right? You want that top, so you're shorting 14, 15, you put your stop right there, and you've identified that the sellers are there because they keep lowering price. The top of the candles keep getting lower, right? And that's a beautiful short. Nice. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And one more tick, right? You see how the responsive buying one tick, somebody's grabbing it, now it's filled, right? Gap is filled, but do we fill the gap and bounce, or do we open underneath 8 3/4? Hey Johnny, how are you? Oh boy. So we're going to open somewhere either with a couple of tick gap or underneath. Let's see what happens. Remember, folks, don't be in too much of a hurry to trade the open. No, Dad, that was all before my time. The only reason I got to talk to Mr. Hunt was because he and one of my old clients were friends. And I had just done a nice little short squeeze on a stock. And it was kind of like a congratulatory call. Because this guy knew that for me to, for me to talk to somebody like that, it's pretty cool. Like the time, like I had another client who put me on the phone with Nicky Lauda, the race car driver, and I thought that was so cool. Right. But that was way before my time. I love a good short squeeze. Well, after the accident, it was right before he passed away, unfortunately. So we're going to open underneath yesterday's high. So I guess we don't have to worry about a gap. And then we'll look for liquidation down to VWAP. Where is VWAP? Let's just check in on VWAP and see where it's hiding. Really nice short. Well done to you guys who got that short. That was beautifully done. Good stuff, Johnny. Just keep watching that offer. Exactly. Yeah, I did not execute that trade. Oh well. That's why I like trading Globex. I'm gonna wait now, let the market open, see where the bid is, and then go to work. Honestly, I think I got a little not long biased, but I didn't want to short it. I didn't resist, but I hesitated. You know that hesitation because I thought, oh, we'll open on a gap and I'll wait and then try and short it when the market opens. Nah, can't win them all. 5 minutes. I haven't been paying attention to the earnings. What's going on in earnings world? Things going well so far? I know BlackRock had good earnings, right? Hmm. Well, opening inside range. You're going to expect a little chop. See how it's just kind of slowing down? Isn't it curious how the market stops selling off right at the cost basis of the overnight? Goes two ticks underneath it and comes back up. 2 minutes left. Almost there, folks. We're almost there. Just remember to relax. Let the market open up. Wait for your trade. If you don't see your trade, just chill out until it's there. Right? I'm almost powered through this week. Now the trick is to save the money that you've made this week. Right? Take it and put it in your piggy bank before your ego gets its hands on it. Let's see if we can stay above VWAP. Quick rule of thumb on these liquidations. If we don't break VWAP, even if overnight inventory is long and you think we're going to get liquidation, we may get that liquidation. Just remember, the first move might be higher if it fails to break VWAP. It might not be a huge move, but just always remember that. Just want you to be prepared. Yeah, and then what? Tomorrow is options expiration? Yeah. So, this can always be tricky. There are. It's very, very hard to figure out what those adjustments are. So just let the chart tell you, right? Always just let the chart tell you. Okay, through VWAP. If we can't get above VWAP, we look for rotation down. Above VWAP, there's that. That's exactly what I was telling you, that first move, right? That first move, if it can't stand in VWAP, it'll push up. Now, they are sellers up here, just under 8. So expect resistance there. Okay? That first move might catch it. Opens and it moves down, and it'll catch some people short underneath VWAP. They'll go to cover, and that's how you get these big green candles, right? So little things like that, simple, practical things like what I just told you about VWAP. Now that is the kind of information that we use at the Trading Syndicate so to help you make money, right? It's practical, useful information. Yeah, you got that VWAP test? Sellers at 9. kind of stop selling around 5. That's what we call rotations. Okay. No trade. Sorry. Hey, Al. How you doing? Welcome to the room. Saw you were in here yesterday. So in the markets like this, what I find, I don't know, I find it peaceful. I find it calming just to relax. When it's chopping around, don't get all hot and bothered. Just let your brain kind of go into relax mode and just chill out. That way, when a real trade does show itself, you'll be able to take advantage of that. Oh my goodness. It's a bit of a slow opening in Walmart today. You still trading the Russell, Blair? It's good to know. So just relax. Have your coffee, you know. As you can see, there's really not much follow through in either direction, right? It's just kind of trading in this little back and forth. So when you see that, ladies and gentlemen, the market's trying to tell you that when the store opened, you don't have a huge bunch of customers coming in. It's just a few. Now, if we take out that A high, right? If we take that A high, no, the sellers are still there at 8. Yeah, if they wanted to let you know what they were really doing on that depth of market, they wouldn't let you. They wouldn't let you see their orders. If I'm a big buyer, I'll put a big offer out and try and get you guys to panic into my bids. It's always nice. Right? No trader is going to tell you exactly what they want to do or show you. Right? That would be career suicide. Let's see if we can take out that A high. If we could take out the high of the RTH here, it'll just generate a little bit of buying, but I want to see where they sell into it. See, there's the stop run right there. You folks call that a breakout. And then if it comes back in, you call it a false breakout. I call it a stop run because you run the stop so you can sell your inventory into that buying. Hey, Renee, how are you? Yeah, right? If you're a large trader and there's not enough buyers, if those stops get run, that creates buying because what it does is it triggers the buy orders from the people who have their stop orders there if they're short. And then you can sell your size into that. Now, what I want to warn you about is this slow, grindy price action. It looks weak, right? It looks heavy, it looks weak, all of those adjectives that we use to describe price action. But now in the age of algorithms and computers, that price action may look weak because it's slow, but you have to pay attention to the offer. And if the candles are going higher, if the lows of those candles are moving up, candle after candle, that's telling you something. Right? Now, if it's choppy, that's another thing. But just be careful because those slow... Okay, now we've got a seller. That's good. That's healthy. And then, see, it gets bought right up. Gets bought right up. See? Look at that. So if you had followed it short down at 8, now you're trapped under 8. Boom. Right? Tilt. Exactly. That's why retail traders don't run stops. It has to be economically viable. So that means your inventory has to be worth more. Your profit on the inventory has to be worth more than running the stop, right? Now do the math. That's a great question. But you're not talking about people who are trading with a couple of $100,000. See how they got us? If we had been short 8, 7, 9, now we're 5 points out, right? Offside. Right? And I told you guys right before this happened that this could happen. It's very difficult to short this market, especially when it's got all of the inventory underneath it. So I think we're going to go attack the overnight high. If it backfills to 12, 13, I'd love to get a couple and sell it into the 15s. That would be lovely. I might have missed that. Yeah, it costs a lot of capital to run stops. That's why sometimes they don't get run tilt. Does that make sense? And of course, the order flow has to be there to do it too, right? If you don't have the order flow to do it, right? So if you're long 12, 13, sell into these 15s, boom, out. Same thing is going to happen now at that overnight high. Watch. It might not run it right at first. It might do this sort of back off and then boom. But if there are enough traders where it's economically viable to hit that, because sometimes you just have to hit that and they'll start buying on their own. And then other people will jump in looking for a breakout. Because when you run a stop, it creates a move up. That sucks a lot of people in. Those FOMO longs, they come barreling in. And that's when, wham, that's when you shank them. Right? Hey, listen, you think that's brutal? I told the story this morning about a guy who owned a brokerage firm in Canada and how he became insanely rich. We're talking like 50, $60 million house kind of rich, right? So to buy a $60 million home, you've got to have some good net worth. He made all his money by shorting the deals of his brokers that used to work at his brokerage firm. When their deals were in trouble, he would short them. And then he'd force them to sell out their clients and cover. Made a fortune. Then they gave him the Order of Canada. His brokers hated him. He drove people into bankruptcy at great personal gain to himself. So back in Canada, right, you buy stock. Here we go. The little stop run. Oh, they sold into it right away. They didn't even let that breathe one tick. Okay, let's go try it again. Come on. Let's get up there. Here we go. Oh, 80, 160, 348. Come on. No, it just gets run. The big institutions are too busy working order flow. Speculators are the ones who run the stops, not market makers. If I can see the stop, do you think somebody who's got trading with a couple of 100 million can see the stop? Sure. If you could see the stop, everybody could see the stop. We just don't have the money to run them. That's all. Right? That's all it is. They see everything we see. They know everything we know. Actually, they know more than we know because they're just really good at their jobs. Right? But they have the capital to run the stops. We don't. That's all. I have no idea right now, really. I don't waste intellectual energy trying to figure that out because it's not my business. Now, if you're thinking of starting a hedge fund and you want to hire me as an advisor, I can go find out. See, now we're creeping above that overnight high. But for the purpose of us working schmucks, retail traders, just focus on your trading so you can make some money when these guys do their shucking and jiving. That's all you got to do. Right? Hey, what's up? You should be in the room. What are you doing? You must be at the gym. That's all I see is you just like doing squats. Yeah, we chat in there. What's up, Omni? How you doing? For those of you who don't know, Omni's uncle was my mentor, and his father was in that crew. They ran one of the best crews in Vancouver. Trading the Aussie dollar. You degenerate. I I really don't know, Dan. I don't know. If you're thinking about it, give me a DM. I'll make a couple of calls. See, look how this is so difficult. Everybody's probably shorting the hell out of this, right? And it just keeps creeping back and forth like this. And then if enough people line up, boom, it'll do one of those and trap everybody. It was. It is. Always has been, Tilt. Deals are run by crews. You have good crews, and then you have idiot crews, and those are the best shorts. All right, looking for 18 and 3/4. See what I told you? You hold the price steady, right? If they can just hold price steady, that'll bring buyers. And that is the worst kind of price action to short because it looks slow. It looks weak. What's the other word? It looks like, heavy D and the boys, right? It just looks really, oh, it's so shortable. It's so easily shortable. And then next thing you know, it's up like 6 points. It's brutal. That's been the way now since electronic trading, and it drives old traders crazy. Yeah, like yesterday's look below and fail was pretty epic, right? Now, what was the question I asked before the open? I asked you guys, how many people do you think we've got short under 62.80? I would say quite a few. Oh my goodness. They fall for it every time. You can't listen to the news. If you listen to the news, you fall for this every time. You get trend, and then it breaks trend, and then it resumes trend again. That's why markets go like this. And the people who short here are the ones that help drive it higher. There's 63.19. I was telling you guys about this. If we accept over 19.20, be careful on the short side, right? That 46 poor low, exactly. And the other thing, Digital, not only did we fix it, but we found out what was lurking underneath it. You know? Some of those levels, they're like, you guys want to talk about dark pools. Those levels are like dark ponds. You don't know if there's an alligator in the bottom or just some fish until you go test it. Now, do we run out of steam up here? If you're shorting this thing, right? Now I'm talking to people who are going short because I know my short sellers just love to short, right? They love it. They can't stop. It's like Pringles, you can't just eat one. If you are short or you're trying to short and it can't get under that 17 and a half, you're going to be in big trouble, okay? Now if you're long, just use the levels. They seem to be working okay, right? I got one at 19 and 3/4 and I'm out at 21 and a half. Should have bought a few more. I didn't think it was going to move that quick. I didn't think it was going to rip like that. But obviously, or somebody came in to get bought in, right? Somebody got bought in. Someone tried to buy themselves in, and it jumped the thing from 20 to 22 in an instant. Oh. Well, let's see. Here's that daily. We've got a balance level on the daily from 62.60 to 63.31 and three quarters. So that's kind of a level I'll be watching. 31 and three quarters today. And right now, I do not see a seller, right? We go up, we backfill for 2 minutes, and then resume trend. No reason sticking your finger in the light socket just yet for the short side. It's hard to go long in a market, especially at the top, especially when this price action is so riggedy jiggedy. I understand that. I've had a couple of scalps to the long side, but with not a lot of size, right? Yeah, who could he fire today? Yeah, wait a minute. The president probably hasn't had his Diet Coke yet, so we'll see. All price action pending Diet Coke consumption. We'll see what he gets up to, right? Hey, come on. You guys wanted, a market that's not boring. Well, now you got one, right? Did he really? Coca-Cola has to now use real sugar? Get out of here. I don't even remember what that tastes like. And not that I'm allowed to drink it, because if my girlfriend caught me drinking it, she'd kick my ass if she did that. There you go. There you go. A nice little short. Hard to time them, though. Watch for bids. See how it came right to that blue line? Didn't I tell you guys? Right? It stopped right there because that's the last little position. Right? It's good. A sell order is healthy. Now let's see what we do with it. Well, that'll be good for the sugar industry if they use real sugar, right? I don't know, Tilt. I should probably get it back on the market here before people start leaving the Zoom or the stream. All right. I'm log 18. I'm out at 19 and a quarter. You see, I screwed up. I should have had my 20 offer in and my 19 and three quarters offered in. But I was talking about freaking Coca-Cola and I was undisciplined. Bad JJ. See, I get distracted just as easily as you guys. Yeah, I've got 38. We're in 8 times cost basis now. So I'm just gonna watch that 19 and a quarter level. Look at the look at the lows of these candles, folks. Every low is higher, right? And we're staying above 17 and a half, right? I don't want to dissuade you from shorting. I just want you to be I just want you to short intelligently and have your wits about you. Now the next period's going to open here in just a minute. I think it's going to break through the 17 and a half now. And if it does, we're looking for around 15 and a half. It has to stay under 17 and a half for that to happen, though. Hey, Derek, how are you? Yeah, distribution for as long as we can. M. Jazen. We have data? Hey, thanks, Truth. I totally forgot. Thanks for the heads up. If this period that we're in now cannot take out the overnight high and get underneath, it tells us there's a crap ton of shorts trapped under 16 half. We're going to test it right now. Yep. Soon as we got down to the 18, did you see the offer starting to lift? When you're a new trader and if you have market profile, or even just candles, just draw a line and then watch when the market comes down and if watches the offer lifts, right? That means that the market has found buyers under that level and is trying to coax them higher. You're always trying to get your buyer to pay more, right? Nice. Nice little trade there. Nice little trade there. Sorry, I didn't call that out. Hey, Total Trader, what does SVP mean? S'il vous plaît? I'm going French here. Does anybody know what that means? Sorry. Ah. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, good, good. Sorry. I just saw SVP. I thought s'il vous plaît, right? I just, you know. I'll have to take a look later. RH? What is RH? Poor high. Is that a stock? Where'd he go? Furnishing for rich people? RH. That's another poor high. Oh, that place. That's the place where I sat on a couch. I was with my ex-wife. She was furniture shopping. I sat on a couch. I was sitting on the couch waiting for her, and then I happened to look at the price tag of the couch, and you never see me move so quick. I jumped up so fast and ran out of that store. I was like, I could buy a nice motorcycle for the price of this thing. I'm out of here. So we have competitive selling at 22 and 3/4. I didn't know it was a public company. Figures. Man, you never seen me move so quick. I think it was like $15,000 for a couch. I was like, I'm out of here. I'll wait for you outside. For a couch. That's not for me. There's a lot of nice motorcycles I can get for that kind of price. Thanks, James. Buyers are up at 22, and they're not happy buyers. Oh, that's short covering for sure. Way to control moves higher, right? If you are shorting this, your stop is right at that double top, okay? So your stop's just 23 and a quarter or whatever the heck that is. Right. You know, and put some bids down in the 20s and see if you can get hit. If you can't, I'm just scalping it for 2 points. Short 22, covering 20 and a half. Oh, not at 20 and a half. 20 and 3/4. Bastards. Oh, boy. Oh, that stock's had a run, eh? $700 all the way down to 195 to 150. Woof. Now, ask yourself, are you just holding for the trade, or are you investing in this $15,000 couch company? Hey, Omni, you still here? Where'd he go? He's there. Do you remember when Moose built his house and he and his wife actually flew to another city in another country to buy furniture? That was a trip. Puck moving higher means good distribution. That means someone was desperate to buy a lot of size up at 22. We know that's probably short sellers, Dan. Usually when you see a lot of volume at the top of the market, you there's not that many sucker longs. Yeah, I had a couple of motorcycles, but I never had the money to have a Harley when I was young. I'd buy like $400 Road Warrior bikes that looked like they'd been in Mad Max. Early P profile, too early yet, Raj. Too early. Thanks for doing that, Steve. So what I'm putting in here, you can see those rotations now, right? Back and forth. This is distribution. They're a little hard to trade because it's a bit choppy. Fix the poor high. It might be, Derek. I don't want to ruin it and jinx it. The next upper stop is here at 63.26 and a half. And while we're waiting for this market, I'm going to do a little plug for the room, folks. At the Trading Syndicate, what we try and do is we try and teach you how to trade using useful information that's practical. Okay? We have a 25% off code in the bar in the YouTube. It's less than 50 cents a day, and we'll help you pass those evaluations and get funded with our friends at Apex. There's also a code in there in the description. We'd love to have you. And if you could, please like and subscribe to the video. It helps us with the YouTubes, keeps the algorithms fed. Thanks so much. Does anybody have market breadth? Just curious. It's not really that meaningful anymore, but it's curious. 2.5 to 1 positive? Thanks, Lear. Oh, nice. You passed an eval? Nice work. So, folks, once again, you're looking for 63.17 and a half. And that's where the shorts are trapped right there because the market comes down, bids, and moves back up off of that. That's good, Mike. That's good. I'm glad to hear. This is a big distribution rotation. Right? The shorts are trapped under 63.18, definitely under 16. They're holding the market up so wholesalers and longs can get rid of their supply at better prices for profit. Now, do we get any continuation, or do we run out of buyers and drop it down again? The problem is if we stay over 63.19 and a quarter, right? And I called that level out earlier today and yesterday. If we get over that level and stay over that level, we might just get that trend day that everyone's looking for. I'm seeing the selling shuts off like a switch when we get down to 18 and three quarters. Thanks for posting that, Telek. Well, that's another thing, right? In this market, it's not a market you can trust, right? You don't want to turn your back on it. What does that mean? That means always trade with stops. Do not ever not use stops. Because one tweet, one piece of bad news, oh, oh my goodness. See, everything we do at the trading syndicate, everything is just, it's to allow you to make money with common sense. Is that Shaz? Hey Shaz, how are you, man? Good to see you. Hope all is well. We get rotation down again. See, that seller's still there at 23. Okay. Right, now we know. So today in our room, for example, we're going to have a session at 11 o'clock for everybody. And it'll be a teaching session, a 101 session, and we'll be talking about how support and resistance are actually created, the mechanics of it, and why it's important for you to know as a trader so you can get some practical information. And that's what we're really trying to do. And that's at 11 o'clock in our room. And it will be recorded. So if we look at this as our balance, let's see, am I using that right level? We should bounce back in between the up and the top and bottom of this box. Now, if we break that, we're going to come back down into this 15s. It's not on YouTube. It's just for the folks in the room. One. And that's, the room's only like, it's less than $1 a day. So I do a lot of stuff on YouTube for free, but then I also do stuff in the room for our folks. So now the market's trying to find a bid, Aries. Not so successful in finding that bid. So you sold some at, oh, you bought some at 8 and your target was 23. You should have been. So you didn't sell anything up at 23? Oh, yeah, you probably should have. Why did you have 28 as a target, Joe? Give me a DM. We'll work on that. Now, if we get back up to 17 and a half, expect sellers there. If you have a new balance, yes, you can. The reason I have my balance triple wood at the time I have it is because I'm up at around 1 in the morning New York time. So that's when I draw my zones out. So they're a lot earlier. But that doesn't mean you can't draw your balance when you come in and sit down and start trading. As you get up to that overnight high, there should be a seller lurking around here somewhere. Let's see. There they are. They're not aggressive, though. If those sellers start lifting over 17, that means that they've seen buyers. There they are. Right? You can clearly see at that overnight high. See, they're front running that level. Remember that we had support. We thought that was support, and it was for quite a while, and then it turned into resistance. You've missed 2 trades? Jose, don't worry about it, brother. You're going to miss a lot of trades in your life. That's just the business. Sometimes you're on the ball, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you might be distracted by something. Sometimes we're not totally tuned in. Sometimes we don't have the discipline we need at the time we need it. Right? Don't worry about it. Just keep your head down, keep punching. I'm now looking for bids at 9. Some days, some days we're just not on it. Well, that's exactly it. The balance is a means to follow the inventory while while you're trading, not the order flow, the inventory. But you're there. Remember, I was looking for bids at 63.09. Well, we went to 8 3/4. Right? It's tough. It's a tough market to trade. Right? It looks great after on the chart. Right? Am I not right? Like all these trades look so easy afterwards. Right? After the fact, it all just looks. Oh, you should have done that, and you should have done that. But live fire, you're in the middle of it. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. You know, in retail trading, you have to be a little easy on yourself. You can't get too whipped up into a frenzy, right? Here are the three things that I consider important, right? One is the ability to admit you're wrong, okay? The other is the ability to be at peace with missing trades, right? And the ability to embrace frustration. Because let's face it, folks, you are going to be frustrated. Everybody is, right? Let's see if this will look below and fail of 12 1/4. Give it some time to work, though. And so if you're long 12 1/2, I don't know where the sellers are going to be just yet. You have to give it a couple of more minutes. Right? Creeping higher. Creeping higher. We all have these issues, right? We just have to use our setup to lessen the impact of these issues. It's not ready yet. Still a seller. Now we have some info though, folks. That helps. We know that there are sellers just right here. Right? So now we're going to track them and see if we start offering above that, right? Then we know. Yeah, I'm long just a little bit on that 13 and 3/4, and I'll flip them out here. It's catching a few bids. Well, folks, sorry, I just got into that trade and I wanted to make sure I got out of it. Apologies for that. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. We will see you all in half an hour in the trading room at the Trading Syndicate. Thank you so much. I'm JJ. Thank you for joining us. We will see the rest of you tomorrow. And trade safe out there, okay? If you need any help, we are around. We're always around. We're always available. I'm vwaptrader1 on X, and this is the tradingsyndicate.org. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And the rest of you guys, I'll see you in half an hour. And remember, folks, don't take candy from strange market makers. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.